5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Today's date is the 5th of April 2020. That's right, the 5th of April 2020. And the time is 12:11. That's 17 minutes. Sorry, 17 minutes past 12, so 12:17. We're here and we're doing right now. It is the music. Okay, a little bit of music for you. Gotta do one last check, make sure everything's running. And lovely. Okay. This is minor chord, major chord, A minor. Sounds a bit sad, doesn't it? And major. So major sad chords sound happy. Here we go. A major, A minor, there's a man called Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins is kind of like a motivational coach. He's very good if you want to learn sales, and he has a lot of very controversial thoughts about happiness and so on. But one of the things he talks about is you can trick yourself into being happy by smiling in the mirror. All right, which it sounds kind of weird and so on, but you got to practice smiling. You don't have to, but for singing, there's a thing called mask, and it sounds best when your teeth shine because it sharpens the pitch, gets that high, crisp definition. Like, that'd be mouth closed, like, that's singing. Oh, baby, I'm trying to love you. Oh, baby, I'm trying to love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mask is very, very important. All you do means that you're singing with a big smile on, and it really brightens up, makes it sound super rich, just crisp. Lovely that. Not like this. Oh, it's a sharp, smiley, crisp sound. Oh yeah, and a big fat smile on. The classical world is called mask. Shooting the sound out. Resonant chamber in the mouth, fucking bouncing off everything, getting lovely, crisp and sharp. And then you got kind of, on the opposite side of that, the classical face and mask and so on, which is also very loud, so that's good. Face and mask, it's good because it's a very loud way of singing. Your whole face is singing. There's the kind of fill in it, singing through the nose thing. And that's it's a different kind of thing. And you often would need assistant amplification for that, so maybe like a microphone or something. And same again with the modern pop style of singing, where you kind of crush the vowels, you kind of sing into your own mouth, and it's kind of strange. But a lot of that was at quite low volume. It actually really blow your mind when you hear how anything in breath is sung very, very, like, not that low, and you need additional amplification. When I keep putting my hand up to my mouth, it means a microphone, alright? So, depending on what style of singing you're using, it'll change the tone, the volume, and so on. The sound, when you sing, the sound doesn't just come out of your mouth. This thing blows my mind, like, it comes out of your ears, comes out of your beard, comes out of your eyebrows. The sound just comes out of your back, comes out of everywhere. When I was studying microphone placement, writing my thesis on it and all that stuff, vocal microphone placement, I was, oh good. just putting microphones all over my head and stuff. And some beatboxers put microphones in their throat to get that low end emphasis. Depending on where you put the microphone, it will change the or your ear, if you will. Depending on where you're listening to the sound, it'll make it sound completely different. If you want a real low, you put the microphone like right in the throat, underneath the where the Adam's apple is. There, beatboxers sometimes put the microphone right there, something like that. Some other things, famous tricks that people do is, if you want a clear, sharp sound, like, or some, you get the microphone right above the head, so we're actually recording all the resonance from the forehead and the face. All right, because if you had the microphone similarly, and you have the microphone shutting down, so it gets all the resonance of the nose, the face. You're getting all of the sounds that's vibrating out of your body. I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was talking about how much I don't like resonating properly, because it actually scares me when my bones start to shake when I'm singing. The back of my calves start vibrating. It's just like, I'm not comfortable. It's like, it just doesn't feel nice. It's like getting a weird massage in your foot or something. It's like, jeez, I know this is good, but it feels kind of weird. So I still have to get used to resonating, being comfortable resonating properly, because if you're resonating properly, things happen like your teeth start vibrating, and it's just like, jeez, this feels weird. It's really magical if you've ever sat beside a singer and heard them hum. The whole fucking room starts fucking vibrating, and just, it's so gorgeous. I love being next to singers, I must admit. It's absolutely it's really fucking euphoric. So yeah, you resonated absolutely everywhere. So it makes a difference what part of the room you're in. It makes a different parts on where the microphone is, because you can aim the sound out as well. We've talked about the burble and aiming the sound out through the mouth. We've talked about the Shania Twain kind of method, which is singing and making sure your bottom kind of incisors, I think they're called. You sing into your lower jaw, and it really sharpens up the resonance off the teeth. Really sharpens up that sound, and you got to keep your mouth open, because it muffles the sound, loses all the articulation. You could be saying a variety of words there. A magnitude of different words. So I think over articulating is very nice tool to have in your box. Singers often get very confused. When I've been around young singers and stuff, they kind of slur all their words. So they're doing kind of vowel modification, but to the point of just going I was in the van today, and everything's the same vocal tone. They're just kind of changing. I was in the van today, and na 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 na. It's all kind of the same. It's all kind of the same. Vocal tones. So, skibbity-boo-bop-boo. Different vocal tone. Different vocal tones come from throaty and so on, singing from. What are the 6 types of voices? Alright, we've talked about that already. We've got bass, baritone, tenor, alto, mezzo-soprano, and soprano. So, okay. Bass, baritone, and tenor are like big, medium, and small. Big, medium, and small, okay? So, big men, this is just, if you go off, it's not always true, alright? But generally, the smaller the person, the higher the voice. The smaller the instrument, the higher the pitch. Think about it if you're playing a violin. The higher up the smaller the string you play, the higher the pitch, and also the shorter the distance between the two ends of the string, the higher the pitch, because all you're doing is making it vibrate faster, cycles per second. That's why if you have something like a double bass, the string is very thick, it's very long, therefore it will vibrate less times per second because it has to do a longer journey to complete one cycle. If you have something like a whistle, that's a tiny, very small space, and the resonance of that whistle is, again, very, very, you're talking up in the fucking 2K range, like, oh, fucking whistling. The smaller that's what cats, right? Cats and dogs have a higher range than us, but they also can't go down as low because of the size of the instrument. The size of the cat actually cannot produce those low overtones because it doesn't have the fucking physical mass to do it. Smokers have a lower voice and so on. Their resonance is restricted. I love the smoker voice personally. But anyway, most vocal ranges are characterized within 6 common voice types. So bass, these are the male ones, okay? Now you can have female basses, you can have female tenors, you can have female baritones. But it's yeah, so let's just go through what's it. So roughly, if a bass, these are just roughly examples, okay? So bass range might be they might sound best around here. Baritone might sound, their range will move up. Say you always have the same range, your range might be here. That's where you sound best. Lowest notes to highest notes, where you can sing loud, confidently. Right? Then you got notes outside your range, where if you try to sing up here, you might be out of flat. If you try to sing high notes, you're not very good. So males typically, large males, so you tend to have a low voice. You're talking examples here: Johnny Cash. Who else is a baritone? Sorry, bass. Who else is a low voice? Your dad, your granddad. Think of an old lad in a bar or something. An old man. That's be a bass. Oh, jeez, you know. Baritone is one of the most common. It's kind of just middle. It's like middle. What size? Yeah, I'm middle. Bass is a big. Baritone is middle. So baritone would be like going a bit higher, but still can't reach the high notes that the tenor can hit, and can't really hit all the low notes that the bass can hit. Now they can hit those notes, but they can't really hit them with power and clarity and just like or whatever. There's a bit of a So bass, low down, baritone, middle, tenor, high. Tenor, high, bass, low, baritone, middle. Alright? Happy days. And they all have their own vocal range. So bass, maybe baritone, maybe tenor. Alright? Low, middle, high, big, medium, small. Alright? Now, the female version of that is alto. Alto is the female low. So I'll bring it up after me. So alto is the female low. Now, it's not as low as the male low, but it's pretty low. The mezzo-soprano is the next one. Next stage up, so that's the middle size of the wing. And finally, the soprano. So again, all children would be mainly classified as maybe sopranos because they have a very high range, maybe higher than that. Kids have a very, very high range, but they also have a very limited range. Of about an octave. So kids' voices are very, very high, but they can't sing down here. So yeah, all right. So once again, if you think, right, it's a small woman, she might be a soprano. Middle-sized, maybe mezzo-soprano, and a larger woman, alto. That it's really just down to like lung capacity and the size of your throat and so on. But sometimes someone's physical size can be a good indication of that. Not always, but yeah, I don't know if it's yeah. But then again, do you know what? If you practice singing all the time, you can. If you're, say for example, if you're a baritone, right, and you practice singing all the time, you can hit all the high notes of the tenor, you can hit all the low notes of the baritone, of the bass, but you primarily sound very good. Like everyone goes, oh jeez, he's a very good singer when he's singing in his baritone range. All right. If you're familiar with the classical, we'll just relate this to strings. All right. So the violin, where's the violin sound gone? The violin. It's like the female high singer, where we don't have any strings. Right. So the violin is like soprano. Okay. Now that's related. So it's the high female voice. Now we have the viola, which is the next biggest stringed instrument after the violin. So it's very, very small. It's about this size, right? Very, very small. Viola, which is the same range as an alto. So a bit lower, still good. Then we have a tenor, which is the same as violin. No, cello. Cello is very, very similar to the range of the human voice. Very, very similar. Cello and bass, it's creepy how similar they are to the human voice. Like, it's creepy. Next we have the double bass. Bom, bom, bom. And so double bass is the big, huge fucking violin that, like, you need a man to be standing up to fucking stand up and play, and it's as big as a human. Like, that's the double bass. And the cello is a bit smaller than double bass, but you gotta play with a bow. Typically, you can play with your fingers if you want, but you can do whatever you want with anything. But yeah, so that's the cello, and then we got the cello, viola, and violin. All right, so it's often divided up into four, just for simplicity. In vocals, STAB. What's that? Soprano, tenor, soprano, tenor, alto, bass. Soprano, tenor, alto, basses. Okay, so if you have a chord, it's just like jazz chords. Right? So when you have your composer Bach, or one of them lads, right? He's there at the piano. He's gone, right? What's going on here? He's got his chord. Right? That sounds lovely. Where are we on? Hang on. Alright, we got was that G7 or something? We got G7. So that's 4 notes. Alright, so here's how you orchestrate for if you want to write very simplistic string quartet or any of these things. It's fucking, honestly, man, it's not that hard. It's very handy. You just get a chord. There's 3 notes normally in the chord in the triad. You got your 1, 3, 5. All right. Now, if you want to add a bit of color, throw in a 6 or a 7 there. So here's that's a 7. All right. G7. So what we do is get the lowest note. The bass would sing that. The bass voice. All right. Then we get the next note up, the 3rd, and we get the tenor to sing that. So that's the boys' tenors. So once again, the boys are singing the lowest notes, and the next lowest notes. The basses are singing the lowest notes. Tenors are singing the next highest notes, forever. Then the next highest note, the 5th, will be sung by the alto, and finally that bit of color or the lead line is played by the soprano, the highest note. All right. So each of these low boys will be singing this note, high boys will be singing this note, low girls will be singing this note, and high girls will be singing this note. And if we change that to a choir sound, it might even be more. Alright, let's try this one out. So, low down boys. Then we got fucking chord on the guitar, you play a G chord. Alright, how do I get a choir to sing this? You just go STAB. Lowest note, the lowest boys. Second lowest note, the tenors or the highest boys or whatever. Next highest note, give that to the girls, the altos. Next highest note, give that to the soprano. Alright, that's just if you're stuck, you don't know what you're doing, that can be a good way of doing it. Generally, if there's a lead melody, like, you got like, here, what's this? Alright, so you hear that bit dancing? That would be known as a lead line, and then you have these chords going underneath. So typically, you would have the soprano, or perhaps the tenor, doing the lead lines. Depending if it's a high lead line, the sopranos will be doing it. If it's a low lead line, the tenors will be doing it. The tenors and sopranos are often seen as like gymnastics, kind of like the more flexible, if you will, of the singing. And as I keep saying, if you meet a really good singer, they'll be like, you'd say to them, would you mind singing the low voice on this song? Would you mind singing the high voice on this song? And they'll just do it, no problem to them. They're just like, yeah, no problem. Because they can do it. It's not where they naturally sound their best, but it's just like a human. Like, would you mind going to the shops and get me milk? It's not they can do it. Like, do you know what I mean? It can be done. It's just where they naturally resonate, and it's to do with their body type, the throat, the length of the throat, I think it might be, and so on and so on and so on. And then you have some people with sinus problems and so on, and often that has just to do with not poor breathing technique and all sorts of stuff. Who knows? So that's a bit of a ranging anyway. Vocal range. Alright, here we go. Here's what Wikipedia has to say about vocal range. So you can exchange your vocal range. If you can only normally sing like, but then you start singing every day, you'll be able to reach up high notes and low notes instead of just these middle notes here. You stretch it and extend it slowly over time. You might be thinking, right, I can already hit really high notes, but can you hit them consistently every single day and be bang on with the pitch? Or can you just do it sometimes? Damn! There's a big difference now that there's like your range, your natural range and your range or something like that. I can't remember which one's which. But your true range or something is like notes you can hit every single day, like when you wake up first thing in the morning, like and then there's notes that you can't hit every night, you know, like those mad fucking notes. So yeah, that's just different people's range. Some people have an acting range. Can they do comedy? Can they do murder? Can they do horror or whatever? Some people can only do comedy. Some people can only do drama. Some people are really practicing all the time. And do you know what? Even Ray Charles. Ray Charles is a very famous gospel and soul songwriter. Some people know him as, I think he's blind. Well, people know him for that, and just amazing. But he, just to give an example of this, in the film Ray Charles, the ladies who were sopranos and altos, Ray Charles is a tenor. The ladies didn't show up for the recording session, and he recorded all their parts, because even though you have your talking range, you can say, "Oh baby, ooh, oh yeah, talking about, ooh," or whatever. So he just did all of their vocal parts. They didn't show up, and he just did all the vocal parts, and no one noticed. The only people who knew were fucking the lads on the recording session. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely amazing. So, but it is one thing, he's able to do those high notes, but he probably wouldn't be able to do it I don't know. He would have a limited range in his high notes and so on. I don't know. And in modern singing, this is called overdubbing. You can hear this on tracks like, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. where they have multiple layers of their voice recorded on top of each other, and this is called overdubbing, or as the original inventor of it called sound on sound recording, by Les Paul, the guitarist Les Paul. You've probably heard of the Les Paul guitarist. He came up with sound on sound recording, which is where you record a song live and then you record again on top of it another part. So you might have a song that goes like, alright, anyway, that's pretty good. But let's record something else on top of it. Let's record a vocal on top of it. Let's toss sound on sound. Because normally you just have one microphone in the room. Back in the good old days, you have the microphone closest to the singer, because that's the most important thing. You're trying to convey emotion. The singer's like, scuba doo bap bap bap, the drummer's in the background. Got some there in the fucking alto sax or something, trombone. I forgot where I was going. But vocal range, vocal range of pitches of the human voice can. Your voice also. Alright, let's just sorry. Vocal range. Vocal range and pitches of human voice can phonate. Phonics is like sound. Sounds used in words. Phonics. Biggie Smalls phonics. Its most common application is within the context of singing, where it is used as defining characteristic for clarifying singing voices into singing types. Vocal range, yeah. It is also a topic of study within linguistics, phonics, speech language and pathology, particularly in relation to the study of tonal languages and in certain types of vocal disorders, although it is a little practical application in terms of speech. Alright, so you got other stuff here. This is Wikipedia vocal range. You got your classification. So you don't really have to worry about all the things I was talking about. Just remember STAB. Soprano, tenor, alto, bass. And if you ever hear a choir, this is very interesting. It actually lists off the notes of the range. Okay, so just pass. As I was talking about, bass here, alto here, or tenor range here, alto range might be here, and soprano range might be there or something. So here's the actual numbers anyway. Bass, lowest note is E2, and two E's below C. E2 is 2 below C, so that's middle C, I think. So what's E? So I think that's possibly the bass is lowest note there. I think that's E2. Alright, now we got G2, which is the baritone lowest note, which is to F4. Alright, then we got the tenor, which is B2. So it goes up as castrato. Castrato is the contralto. What? Oh, contralto must be the original version of alto. Canalo is the lowest female voice, F3 to E5. F3 is the F below middle C, so that's there's middle C, so F is there. I hope. So that's your contralto to E5, which is Jesus way up there. Then we got soprano. We've got mezzo-soprano, which is a female between A and A5, A3 and A5, and soprano, which is the highest female voice, being able to sing C4 to C6. So that would be your Mariah Carey's, your Christina Aguilera's, your divas. You know, the big diva singers, the hands up and down. Tenors just like a high male rock voice. Bass is like a low voice. Okay, you get the idea. So once remember, bass, low voice. Tenor, high male voice. Soprano, very, very, very high, the highest female. And alto, the kind of lowest female. Alright, so you just got high, low, alto. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So yeah, if you're in a choir, the males are divided into two groups, low and high. Bass is low, tenors are high. If the women are divided into two groups, alto for low and soprano for high. Okay? You're singing low, you're singing high. So it's easy. You're divided into high and low and male and female. Alright? Simple as simples. And I think that'll do. I don't want to fry your head or any more information. But that's, you hear all these choirs, you're like, wow, how did they do that? It's so interesting. And then it's just fucking, just get a chord, fucking split it up. And if you want to sing a lead line, like, just give that to tenors or altos. Fucking grand. And then if you want to be really fucking edgy, normally what they do is they get a lead line, like, it's not a great example. And they'll start off, they give that to sopranos, and they'll be like, and then they switch it to the fucking alto, and then they switch to the tenors, and then they switch to the basses. And it just keeps things really interesting. They move the lead lines throughout the parts and so on, and that'll be getting into more advanced things. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's the most important thing is to not get too carried away with these. Your ear will kind of tell you what to do. Which is fucking strange. Alright, that's it. Goodbye.